Okay. Oh my god, that scared the shit out of me. That was a fucking silver alert. That fucking beep. It's like literally like, oh my god, it's gonna be the end of the world right here. That was terrifying. That tone, it just gets into your fucking nervous system. Oh my god, everything's falling over. Anyways, so basically, here's the deal. So her sister was killed. They got this guy on death row, and it's his 21st birthday, and they're gonna execute him on his 21st birthday, which is pretty fucking shady, you know. And okay, I got a question. I didn't memorize the crow makeup. So is it supposed to cross right here, or is that only in certain ones? Is that not the original look, or is that the original look? I can't look it up right now because it'll fuck up my video. Should I make it cross, or does that look stupid? I mean, I shouldn't really worry about looking stupid, I guess. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna make it cross. Okay, so basically, yeah, and I forgot, in the opening scenes, it shows this dude who's like taxidermying crows, and that he has this disgusting thing on his arm that is, everyone keeps calling a scar, but it just looks like there's jagged metal like under his skin, and actually that literally turns out to be what it is in the end, because spoiler, quote unquote alert, he's like putting screws under his skin, and it's not explained why, like, but it's so nasty. It just looks so nasty, especially there's this one part right here near the top where it's kind of like even like extending off of his like edges of his arm, so it's like doesn't look contained. It looks like there's a protractor under his skin. It's so disgusting. Anyways, so yeah, there's this guy, his name is Alex. All these crows apparently have different names except for the new one, which is something that pissed people off, which I agree with. They should have gave him a different name like all the rest, because I remember one of the reviewers said one of them's name is Jimmy, I think. Obviously the first one is Eric. And then this guy is Alex Corvus, which is a 90s ass movie name if I ever heard one. So yeah, so they bring him this cake, which is really funny and fucked up because somebody went through the entire effort of cooking this cake and baking this cake and decorating it like decadently with all this icing, all this shit. Like, and me and my mom, we watch cooking shows sometimes, and icing and making a cake at all, putting layers, I bet there's filling in there. It looked like somebody lovingly made this cake with like a picture drawn on it in icing. Like the top of this cake is fully iced. This shit takes work and time. Like, I am not a baker. I am so intimidated by baking. Because to me, cooking is just you throw some shit on a skillet on the stove and you just mix it up until it's hot enough and it tastes good, and you put sauces and shit in, soy sauce in it, and it tastes good. And you eat it and you watch it cook and it's great. But baking is like, you gotta measure things, and then you put in this oven, and then you gotta trust the oven. The oven might, you know, it takes it away from you for a little bit, and you just have to trust that when it comes out, it'll come out the way it was supposed to. But anyways, so somebody makes this cake. The top is fully iced, like a birthday cake or something, or graduation cake, but it has a picture of the arm, where it's like an arm with like the diagonal marks. It's like basically like, you know, the chevron thingies. Like, I mean, I call them arrows, people call them chevrons, whatever, but that's all up and down this arm like this. And they let you see, this is what I'm talking about. Even though this movie is so cheap and so sci-fi original movie looking, they actually fill you in. Like, the details are not shittily put through. Like, they time things pretty well, the amount of information they give you, and let you know the things you gotta know. So in the opening scene, they're interviewing all these people outside the jail. Everyone has signs, and I think they're mostly like pro-death. They're just here to be like, yeah, fucking kill him. But I think maybe some people were anti-death. I don't know. They're making it seem like these people are all just pro-death. They're interviewing people for the news, and they let you know that the girl who was murdered was killed by a man with a chevron scar on his arm. So they're saying that even though Alex doesn't have this scar or any marks or anything like that, but apparently that is the mark of the murderer. So they bring him this cake that has this thing on it just to mock him, it seems like. Happy Death Day. It's not even the day, it's the minute. Like, he comes and he's playing chess with his lawyer or whatever, and he's like, happy 21st birthday, sucker, get ready to die, come walk with me down the hill, like, not the hill, come walk with me down the hall to your fucking death door, you know, and shit, like, ha ha ha. And it's like, the shade, you know. And then the only one standing up for him is the lawyer. So he gets up and he's like, he lets you know the girl that was murdered, her name is Lauren, which I'm going to say that now because I know it'll probably come up a million times later. But you know, the original Crow, the comic, the movie, it's all about revenge for this woman who was unfairly slain. And he was too, you know. And as all these people are saying, if that is the repetitive story of all these movies, that has to come again. So, basically, but this time it's a twist, because he's the one being accused of her murder. But, he's saying he didn't do it, he loves her, that's his ex, I mean, not his ex now that she's dead, but they didn't break up, they were in love, you know, and everything like that. He loved her more than anything, and one of these people talking to the news lets you know that he was an orphan, he didn't have shit, he was poor as fuck and she was rich, but you know, they were just in love, like madly in love, and blah blah blah. So he goes down in there, and then they have this demonic ass, and this is another thing that made me happy. They, even though this was a 2000, late 90s, early 2000s movie, they let this have some style. Like, I would actually say this is probably on the same level as, like, 13 Ghosts and maybe Ghost Ship. I didn't watch all of Ghost Ship either. I watched parts of Ghost Ship. But, you know, I feel like it fits in with that style. So they let it still have some, you know, some ghostly, like, dark, like, you know, type of style, you know? So I like that. That made me really happy. But they take him into this execution room, and the execution room is, like, very unprofessional, like, demonic, like, it's like a pentagon or a hexagon, some shape, because every door has, like, or every wall has a word written on it, like justice, retribution, something. They have all these words that have to do with the justice system. And it's all dark and creepy, and then they put him in the chair, and then they put this mask on him, which is funny because it's like, I'm pretty sure the electric chair has like a hat, like a headpiece, but not a mask, like not a fucking Iron Maiden looking ass mask. So they put this shit on him and they fry him, and it's clearly botched. Like, clearly. I mean, I think it's not supposed to be botched in the context of the movie, because nobody mentions anything going wrong. But it's like, yeah, like, pretty sure that, like, when you get the electric chair, you're supposed to kind of, like, instantly, like, die, you know, or at least instantly go unconscious and then die, you know? But, like, he's, like, sitting there for a long ass time, like, frying. And what is that movie? Is it The Green Mile, or is it, you know, what is it? Fear will trap you, hope will set you free. Shawshank Redemption. Is it Shawshank Redemption, or is it Green Mile, where somebody purposely botches the electric chair because they want this guy to suffer, and you're supposed to put a wet sponge on their head to conduct electricity, but he doesn't put the wet sponge on his head, so he fucking suffers. It's one of those Stephen King made into movie things about jail. But basically, it's like that, except they act like everything's, like, it's supposed to happen this way. So he fucking dies, and then as he's dying, like, he sees that somebody reveals their arm in the crowd, and that they have the chevron, so he's like, the fucking murderer, but then he dies, you know? Why? Well, if you had the chevron, why would you do that just to taunt him, you know? But anyways, so yeah, he's dead. They put him in the in the freezer, and then everybody leaves, and he instantly gets up, pretty much, and he has a burned, fucked up, his face is just charbroiled, but then he goes in front of the mirror, the crow shows up, his, you know, his familiar or whatever, his spirit guide, whatever you fucking call it. God, I hate it when there's a hair on your mouth and you can't find it. There it is, that little bastard. And anyway, his face is just totally charred, but he gets in front of the mirror, the crow is like, you know, there, and then he starts peeling he starts peeling his face off, like Poltergeist style, and underneath he looks like this, pretty much, except his eye makeup is like, sometimes it looks red, sometimes all this doesn't look black, it looks red, and sometimes the white, like the makeup is very inconsistent in this movie, but I kind of like that because it makes it look like, even though this part, the part going down, looks like it's supposed to be a cut or like a actual scar or a burn, it doesn't look like makeup, but everyone in the movie calls it makeup. But it like alternates, like sometimes it's more red, sometimes it's more black, sometimes the white is like this fucking little doll patches right here, kind of looks like it's all the way rubbed off, but I kind of like the fact that it's inconsistent because it makes it look like he's sweating it off, and you know, it's getting pushed and moved around and stuff like that. So even though I don't think that was intentional, I think it's part of the cheapness of the movie that they couldn't, you know, replicate it each time. But the other thing is that his eye makeup is like all around here, like this big like circle around each eye, so it kind of looks like a mask that like Robin would have, or one of these other superheroes like Green Arrow, or you know, any of these superheroes that wear like a black mask, like Lone Ranger and all that. That's what it looks like. It doesn't really look like goth makeup, so I mean, yeah, it does, but it more so has like the superhero look to it, like a mask, like Zorro or something, you know. So anyways, he gets up, and they don't waste any time. Like, that was another complaint people had about this new movie, is that it wastes time, and that, I'm just trying to get these lips as dark as possible, man. But see, that's why I was kind of okay with using the red, because that's how it looks in the movie. Like, he's got like these reddish undertones, except this, what you see on my lips, is like around his eye, like that. But I wonder if I should add more eye, but I don't want it to look too shitty. See, I like it when people put it all the way up here, like around the whole orb of their, oh shit, I fucked it up. And then they kind of have like this heavy eye. Oh shit, it looks bad now. Anyways, but so people were saying the new movie like wastes too much time, and that, you know, you just have this long ass boring love story, and that there's no action like until the end. But this movie is good in the sense, oh god, I hate that. This movie is good in the sense that like, it starts off right away. Like, he starts breaking out of prison, and the guards are after him. He like leaps off the top of the building and transforms into the bird. This is another thing. They don't tell you all of his powers, but they kind of just let you see it. I don't know if in the first Crow he could turn into a bird. I know he could see through the eyes of a bird. I don't know if he can do that with any bird, or if it's only his familiar. I would think it's probably only his familiar, right? Because they're like linked. But in this movie, he can turn into a bird. So sometimes there's two birds. There's like the familiar, and then there's him. But anyway, so he can fly, so that's convenient. So he jumps off the roof. All these guards are chasing him. They're shooting at him. You know. Yeah, and then he gets up and flies away. He goes straight to the police station, which is a big ass like Raccoon City looking ass police station. And he gets in there, and the Crow is just like, over here, we ain't got time to waste. And pulls out like this whole stack of like paper. Well, it shows him to this one drawer. And he goes in there, and it's like in the C's. And he makes this stupid joke where he's like, I don't see anything listed under Crow. And the bird is just like, And then he pulls it out, but then he's like, oh no, it's me. It's my name. My name is Corvus, my last name. So he pulls it out and he looks under his name and he finds like some papers that, I don't know, basically just says on the paper like corrupt cops were involved. You know, like in bold letters, like practically just says that. And then he has a list of names. So he's like, all right, just start chopping them down one by one like Dr. Fives, you know. So, yeah, the first person he goes to is this dude who I guess just, he wasn't bad, or he wasn't all bad. He's just like, he's super poor. He goes up to his apartment and it's in this terrible neighborhood, and immediately you see there's like a baby crib. So it's like, are you really gonna kill this guy? But then it turned out that guy didn't have a hand in his execution. Well, he kind of did, but that he was like put on, like, basically they offered him money. All the corrupt cops, they like offered him money to like bear false witness or something like that. So the Crow lets him off with just like a frightening, you know. He like, I think he stabbed, oh, because that was another thing, he got the knife that oh my god, what if I'm allergic to this makeup and I start breaking out during this? That would be so terrible, because I can feel it tightening on my face, this old ass paint. I'm gonna throw this shit away after tonight. I'm gonna throw this shit away. This is literally like probably 18 years old right here, because I used this in high school. Like, this deserves to die right here. And this probably does too, even though this is only a couple years old. But it's so shitty. It's so fucking shitty. Maybe it just needs to be blended with something. But anyways, so before I go into anaphylactic shock, what was I saying? Right, so when he was in the police station, he got a hold of the knife because the deal was that his girlfriend got stabbed 53 times, and they don't let go of this number 53. It's almost like the number 23 in the movie with Jim Carrey. Or like Loomis with the, I shot him 6 times or whatever. Like, this is 53. Everything is 53 times. So, and it's this big old Bowie knife looking thing. So, and squeaky clean. Looks brand new and shiny and everything. So it was just sitting there in evidence, like in the drawer, like in the file with papers. And I think, well, I don't know, whatever. Maybe the Crow got it for him. But basically, he gets this knife and he starts carrying it around because he's like, oh, this is the weapon they said I killed my girlfriend with, huh? And then he starts getting flashbacks, which I remember is something from the original Crow, because like I said, I saw part of the movie. I just didn't finish it because I had to go to work. But I do remember that was a quality that was in that movie, was that the Crow would see flashes. I don't know if it was exactly like how it is in this movie and in 13 Ghosts, where touching certain things causes the flashbacks, but I just remember that at certain points he would have these flashes of, like, you know, like his girlfriend when she was like at death's door, like she was on the stretcher and that the cop was near her. I remember that part when he was talking to the cop and he's like, you never left her side, you know, and that made him endeared to the cop, I guess, and a whole, I don't know, whatever. So he has these flashbacks. So basically he has this flashback to, like, when he last saw his girlfriend and that they were fighting, they were arguing about something. And I can't remember, at some point, I can't remember if it's now or later. I don't remember how early this shows up in the movie, but basically, they're talking about how she was targeted to be killed by all the crooked cops because she saw something she wasn't supposed to see, which is something that is in the new movie, which I know from the reviews I listened to. So it's kind of interesting to me how it seems like maybe they're doing the same thing Alien Romulus did, where they're pulling from all the previous movies, because seeing as I haven't seen City of Angels, or I haven't seen the new one, I haven't seen City of Angels, I haven't seen Wicked Prayer, and I don't have the fucking time to invest in a whole ass show. Unless it's like the new Kolchak where it's like 10 episodes capped, like, you know, then I can do it. But if it's like 36 episodes or something, I mean, how much revenge can you take, you know? For all I know, it's really good, but I mean, I couldn't even get through Hellsing, so I don't know. But anyways, the point is that it's interesting that some of the things the reviewers were talking about in the new movie, I saw in this one. So, which, yeah, I don't have all the information, but yeah. So, basically, he grabs this guy, the guy who falsely testified against him, or whatever, he was paid to do it. This cute little guy. And the crow, this is another funny thing, is that he's looking for the person with the chevron, so every person, he, like, rips their sleeve open. That's, like, the thing he does to everybody. So, yeah, instead of a bodice ripper, he's, like, a sleeve ripper. So, but none of these people have the chevron, obviously, except the final boss. So we'll get there when we get there. Oh, shit, 20 minutes, okay.